the official Robyn Banks and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to the channel, you want to hit that subscribe button because this channel is full of tea, drama, and story times. And I'm a chick from Brooklyn. Everybody loves a chick from Brooklyn, and that's on period. I know me looking like this on the camera is like,
oh, jump scare.
Because I'm like half done my makeup, but midway doing my makeup, I'm like, let me just do a little quick get ready with me story time because I am heading out and like I barely have the energy to get cute and sit in front of the camera. So while I do have the energy, I might as well make a video. Please disregard my background because y'all want videos or not. Focus on me. Y'all here for the tea. Y'all not here for the background. But as y'all can see by the title, this video is a story time about my edible experience and why I would never ever I probably would do it again, but I haven't done an edible since this day. This is not a tutorial, so I'm not about to stop and show y'all what I'm doing. Y'all just gonna watch me get ready and y'all gonna listen to the words that are coming out my mouth. I keep looking to the side because I have a new camera, but I need to look into the lens, so I'm gonna try my best. I'm not gonna waste any time. I'm just gonna get into the video. So this happened in last summer, so 2022 summer, which was like the height of my like breakup situation. And the way I was going about my healing or like trying to deal with the situation that I was going through was hanging out. Like I never wanted to be at home. Pretty much kind of how I'm dealing with my problems now. Like I literally been outside all summer. I would find little random things to do with my homegirl, or like I'll just literally go hang out with myself, take myself on a date to a bar or something, like just so I won't be inside, because I feel like when I was inside, that's when it was hitting me. Like I never wanted to be by myself, because when I was by myself, I would get up in my thoughts and in my feelings. And to avoid that, I would just go out and hang out with my friends as like a distraction, or I would go out with them and I would have a drink, and I'll get to the point that I'll be so fried by the time I come home, like all I could do is shower and sleep. So I would have no time to think or soak in my thoughts about my situation. And on this particular day, I was at work and I had this friend that I'm super close with. I don't even know, I'm gonna give her a name because I'm not sure if she's okay with people knowing that she do drugs or like take edibles, so I don't want her getting in trouble. But my one friend, we gonna call her Mimi. Me and Mimi are extremely close. Like we used to work together, and that's where we met each other at, and we used to be like always hanging out. But now that we at this point where we were working different jobs, we would talk every day. Like literally up to now we still talk every day, but we wouldn't see each other as much because like we were busy. We were living different lives. It was hard to work around each other's schedule to link up. But when we did link up, it was always love. And on this particular day, I was at work. Mimi had hit me up like, girl, what you doing today after work? Do you want to go do karaoke? It will be fun. It's going to be me, you, and we're just going to call this girl Nadia, which is another friend of ours that we worked with. She was like, it's going to be me, you, and Nadia. We're going to go to K-Town. If you're from New York, you know what K-Town is, like Chinatown, but Koreatown. And in K-Town, they have all these random ass karaoke places. Like one thing about Koreans, they like karaoke and they like fucking ping pong. Like in K-Town, all you find is ping pong, karaoke, hot pot, like literally. So she was like, we can go to this place in K-Town. It's mad cheap. It's like $20. It's bring your own liquor. I got edibles. We can go and like have fun. Like it will be a cute little girls' day thing, and I know you've been in your head and I know you're going through it with this breakup, so it'll be something fun to do. And I was all for it because I like doing little fun shit and like little fun activities. Living in New York, I'm definitely grateful that I come from a big city and not a little town, because you're never gonna run out of things to do. You're never gonna get bored living in New York. So I'm always up to do little fun things. So I'm like, oh shit, karaoke sounds fun. Me, you, and Nadia, we can do karaoke, most definitely. And when she said liquor and edibles, remember I told y'all the way I was going through my healing, which is not, I would not recommend, was in drinking liquor like literally all the time. So definitely sounded like a plan to me. Like, what, you got the eddies? She said Nadia had some of that grass to roll and we just gonna vibe out. So I'm like, for sure. So we all linked up. Like at this time I was working in the city. I mean, I still work in the city, but at the job that I was at the moment, I was working in the city. It was like 2 train stops away from where we was going. So we all met up in the city. We got food. And because this place that we went to, you could bring your own food, bring your own liquor. So, and you could, I think it was 420 friendly too. So, I mean, obviously. So we got food, and I think we got like limeritas. Like, I don't think we got any hard liquor. I don't remember us buying hard liquor. My friend Mimi doesn't drink like that, but me and Nadia, we drinks. I think we end up getting like limeritas or something. Nothing too hard, or like wine. I don't think we got anything like tequila or anything. And we went to this place. I still have clips of this day, and I'm gonna insert them while I tell a story. It's either gonna be on the screen or in this individual clips. But we was catching a vibe. We was singing our songs, catching a vibe, and caught in between the two, 'cause I really wanna be with you. But something's telling me actually you are mine. That's when Mimi gave me an edible. Now Mimi, she loves edibles. She doesn't really blow down, and she don't drink, but one thing about her, she gonna have her edible. Like she's gonna have an edible. She loves edibles, so it's nothing to her to take an edible. Me, I've done edibles before. I've even done raw shrooms before, like, but I'm not a big edible person. And as far as my THC tolerance, I don't think I have a high THC tolerance because I don't really smoke. Like, I do smoke, but I was consider myself an occasional smoker. Like, I will smoke if I'm really going through something and I feel like the only way I can ease my mind is to smoke, or in a social setting where I'm around people that smoke and they rolling up and they pass it to me, like, I'm gonna smoke then. But by my lonely, on a day-to-day, I do not smoke weed. Like, Nadia, she smokes. Like, at this point, she was like a heavy smoker, so her tolerance was higher. And then Mimi, she always eats edibles, so of course her tolerance was higher. Keep that in mind. So now we all doing karaoke. I got some clips, I'm gonna insert it. We was singing all type of Straight from Heaven by Keisha Cole. Like, the song started hitting once we started singing some R&B songs. Y'all gotta remember, I was going through heartbreak, so I was getting deep in my emotions. You made me fall back in love. You got me just this karaoke place is like, you pay for your own room. So it's literally a room, a TV, a magazines of songs you could choose from, and that's it. Like, it's like a 4x4 room. Shit is smaller than my bedroom. And we was drinking. I know it look crazy, y'all. I promise it's gonna fix up. We was drinking, vibing, singing our music, and I took the edible. Now, I took the edible. I was fine. I did. The biggest thing you could ever do when taking an edible is taking an edible and not feeling it for the first hour or so, or 30 minutes, and just being like, this ain't shit. And that was my fucking mistake. I was like, okay, this shit ain't shit. I don't feel shit, and I wanted to be numb. Like, the more the songs was flowing in, the more I wanted to be numb. Like, I did not want to feel my emotions. Like, y'all get what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm listening, like, we're seeing R&B now, lyrics are relating to me, and it's kind of making me feel weird. And I don't want to be the fucking bitch in a group that's crying on Girls' Day. Like, I don't want to be a boo-hoo crybaby. I want it to be numb. So I'm like, bro. So I'm telling Mimi, like, girl, this edible is not hitting. And she like, do you want another piece? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I feel it. Give it some time. And I'm like, nah, yeah, I need another one. Like, this is not, I don't feel it. Like, I'm not feeling it. So she gave me another one. And at this time, Nadia was rolling up. She was twisting up. So Nadia like, okay, take the other edible, and I'm rolling up right now. So we gonna smoke. And maybe then you will feel it a little bit more. So I'm like, alright. So now Nadia's twisting up. We singing. And when she finished twisting, she starts smoking. Keep in mind, we in a little ass room. So if you know anything about smoking in a little room, you know what a hot box is. This is exactly what it was feeling like. By the time she passed me the weed, I was already feeling like I was high off of the contact from her smoking in the room being so small. But I was trying to play it cool. Like, I didn't want to go out sad. I'm like, maybe I'm bugging. I was already feeling like a little bit high. And I'm like, maybe I'm bugging. Like, maybe I just need some water. Keep in mind, they give you water there. So we had water, and I'm drinking the water. And I'm like, nah. So now it's my turn to smoke. So I'm smoking. I smoked a little bit. The music is playing. We're going in circles, you know, like we're taking turns doing the karaoke. And it gets to a point where my friend Mimi is singing, and for some reason it felt like it was so loud. Like we've been there for the whole time and I didn't think it was loud, but all of a sudden I'm like,
this shit is fucking loud.
like it was so loud. Like I was sitting there and I'm like, so like, oh my god, turn this shit off. I literally was like, turn this shit off, this shit is so loud. And they're like, what, are you okay? And I'm like, bro, this shit is loud. And that's when it hit me that I'm fucking high. I'm high. It was too much going on. Oh, this is another thing that was bugging me out. Like in this karaoke room, they had like these flashing lights. The flashing lights did not bother me the whole time we were there. But after I realized I was high, that shit was blowing my mind. Like I was so fried. And this is when I realized that I was high, because I started recording myself, because I'm like, maybe I'm bugging. Like my heart was racing and I felt like I was about to die. I literally started feeling like I was about to die. The music was so fucking loud. The lights were so bright and it was flashing. So I just sat here and I started recording myself. And I think that's when my friends realized like I was fried. And they were like, are you okay? Are you like, you're high. Like, are you okay? And I started panicking. And for those of you that know me, well, personally, or like have me on Instagram, because I think I spoke about this like publicly before, I do suffer from anxiety, which is another reason why I should have never even took no fucking drugs, because girl, you know your heart is always racing. So like, why would you even go out there and play yourself like that? But I do suffer from anxiety, and I was going through a very like at this specific point in my life, when I was going through the breakup, my anxiety was like its worst, and I was actually put on medication, like a medication like called escitalopram, for my anxiety, because like literally I was having like non-stop panic attacks. So at this time I was legit starting to have a panic attack, but I didn't want to like scare my friends, so I was like sitting in the corner trying to play cool. And my homegirl Mimi is like, are you okay? Are you okay? You're high. And I'm like, I just need some water. Like, I just need some air and some water. And they're like, you want to leave? And I'm like, yes, please. Like, can we get out of here? Like, I was fucking frantic. We started leaving, and they had to go to the counter for something, I guess to pay for something. But I couldn't even fucking wait for them at the counter. Like, I just ran outside and was like outside hyperventilating, like literally hyperventilating. Mind you, we're in the middle of Manhattan. Our plan was to, you know, go to this karaoke thing and of course take the train home, because New York is expensive. I'm not, on the middle of a weekday, I am not planning on taking a fucking Uber from the city to my house. That shit is gonna be mad expensive. But this day I was like really like sitting in front of the karaoke place hyperventilating. I'm like, bro, I can't breathe. Like, I can't breathe. Like, I was having a panic attack, didn't have my panic medications, and my friends was just like, calm down, it's the edible, you're overthinking, just calm down, maybe we should go home, you can go home and get some rest, you can sleep it off, you'll be fine. Now that I'm telling the story, it's making me realize I can't even describe in words the feeling. It was just an absolutely scary feeling. So anyways, I ended up getting an Uber. At this point I didn't even care how much the Uber cost. I think it was like $100. I get in an Uber and he's driving me, and at this point we got to Brooklyn already. We was like in Bed-Stuy, like we was not too far from my house. I had the windows rolled down. I was like calling everybody in my call log, like, please, I just need somebody to talk to me because I'm so high. Like, I feel like I'm gonna die. Like, literally my heart was like badoop badoop. Like, I could hear my heart in my ears. And I was calling everybody like, I'm gonna die, like I'm in the back of an Uber, bro, I'm about to go to the hospital, like I need to go to the hospital. So I started telling my Uber driver like, I need to go to the hospital, like pull over. And he was like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I cannot breathe, I'm dying, I don't feel good, I feel weak. Like, I was feeling so weak and nauseous, and like my heart was racing. And he was like, do you want me to get you a water? And I was like, yeah, can you give me a water? So he pulls over to the corner store and goes and give me a water. While he's in the corner store, I come out the cab and I sat on the pavement. I don't even know why I did that. Like, I was just fucking tripping out. Like, I sat on the pavement and I started crying, like bawling tears. And I'm like, you have to get me help. And he's like, what's wrong? Because he didn't understand like what was wrong with me. Like, I was just having a whole fucking panic attack. And he was so confused. He's like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, you have to get me help. And he was like, I will get you help, but what is wrong with you? So he gives me the water and I'm sitting on the ground. I drink the water and I start throwing up. I have pictures of the throw up too, because I was taking pictures because I was sending them to my friends because I thought I was gonna die. So I wanted everybody to know that if I died, this is why I'm dead. This fucking edible. Threw up all outside the Uber, and he was like, are you feeling better now? And I'm like, no. Like, I thought that was gonna make me feel better. No, I felt worse. And he was like, if you sure you want me to call an ambulance? I'm like, yeah. So he calls the ambulance. Now I get in the ambulance. It's 2 young EMTs. And they're like, what's wrong with you? And for some reason, I was so embarrassed. Like, the reason why I wasn't even telling the Uber driver was wrong is because I was fucking embarrassed. Like, I didn't want to tell nobody I took an edible and I'm tripping out. Like, I felt like I was laced. Like, I literally, I'm not gonna lie, I thought I was never gonna come back from that. I really thought I was laced. Like, I was like, oh my God, it's over. I'm about to be like a laced person on the street. Like, them people you see walking down the street yelling at themselves. Like, I really thought that was my fate at this moment. Like, so I was so embarrassed to tell people like I took an edible because I thought I took a bad edible. But then I also was like, why isn't anyone else? Like, my 2 friends were fine and we all took the edible. Why is it only me? Like, what's the odds that I would be the one to get laced? But it was these 2 young EMTs, so I ended up telling them, like, they're like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I took an edible and I'm mad high and I need to go to the hospital. Like, I need to come down. Like, I don't like this feeling. And you know, like, I'm not gonna lie, they were assholes. Like, the 2 guys that I had, I don't know if it's because they were young, they were assholes. Like, they was dead ass like fake laughing at me. They wasn't laughing visibly to my face, but they was like, you took an edible, like, just relax. Like, they basically was saying like, you're gonna come down, you just need to come down and you could sleep it off, you could drink water, like, you don't need to go to the hospital. And I'm like, you have to take me to the hospital, like, I'm dying. They're like, you're gonna be fine. I'm like, no, y'all have to take me to the hospital, I'm dying. And they're like, oh, you're gonna go to the hospital, you're gonna sit there for hours and all they're gonna do is tell you what we're telling you. Like, it's just an edible, you're gonna come down. I'm like, no, I need a fucking IV. Keep in mind, my sister and my mom works in the hospital. Like, y'all not about to gaslight me. I just feel like this is why shit happens to people. Luckily I was okay, but I'm saying it's cases where people are always expressing how they feel and niggas be like, oh, you're gonna be fine. Like, even when they go to the doctor or the hospital, they're like, oh my God, I'm in pain or I don't feel well. And like, the doctor's like, well, I don't see nothing, you're fine. Like, go home and sleep it off. And then they end up dying. It's because of people like this. Like, and me also being on the edible made me extremely more, like, even more paranoid. So they're like, girl, you're fine. Like, we're not gonna take you to the hospital. And I'm like, no, y'all have to take me to the hospital. Like, I'm high as fuck. I'm throwing up. I don't feel well. My heart is my heart is going 100 miles per hour. And I was telling them, like, I literally suffer from anxiety and I have panic attacks. I'm not trying to be like thinking about what's wrong with me this whole time until the point that it triggers another panic attack and I have nobody with me to like help me. Feel me? Like, and they were like really trying to tell me like, girl, you're fine, like, you'll be fine. Like, they kept telling me like, you'll be fine, girl, you'll be fine. And I'm like, no, take me to the hospital. And I started calling my little brother, I started calling my cousins, because I'm like, if they don't want to take me to the hospital and I go home, I want to at least be like around supervision. Like, I was calling my cousin Brenda, like, are you home, so I could lay at your crib, like, I'll spend the night at your crib. I took an edible and I feel like I'm gonna die in my sleep. And she was like, I'm not home. So I'm like, you see, I don't got nobody home, so y'all have to take me to the hospital. Eventually, after the back and forth, they did end up taking me to the hospital, and they were right. I did sit there for hours before I got seen, but I didn't care because I was in a hospital. I did sit there for hours before I got seen, and when I did get seen, all they did was run an IV because they were saying that I was dehydrated. Like, that's literally all they could do. I was dehydrated, that the drugs had to run its course, and they're gonna run me an IV and then eventually discharge me. I don't even know how long I was in the hospital. Like, it had to be like a few hours. But let me tell y'all, I was so like panicky that I even went to even call my ex to tell her like I'm literally in the hospital. I don't know if that was me being paranoid or me not having nobody else to return to, but I called her. She didn't answer though. I did text her and I was like, I'm in the hospital. She didn't respond either. She probably thought it was one of those gimmicks. You know how bitches be like, oh my god, I'm in the hospital for attention, but I literally was in the hospital. I didn't know who to call. She didn't respond though, so that ain't help. That gave me even more anxiety, and I had even more of a panic attack about that. And eventually I did get discharged from the hospital. I don't even know if anybody ended up knowing that I was in the hospital except for like my friends that was there that I went to the Korean place with, because obviously they was checking on me to see if I got home, and I told them like, no, I'm in the hospital. So yeah, that was the last time I ever took an edible, and I would not take another one because that was very traumatic. I do feel like if you're gonna take drugs and you're not somebody that takes drugs, just know your limit and just try not to do too many things at one time, because I think that was my problem. I took the edible, I smoked, and I was drinking. And on top of that, I'm already going through my own issues. Like I said, I suffer with anxiety. You should just know yourself and know what you think you can handle, because I definitely was tripping out. And I thought I was going to end up in a psych ward. Literally, like, the shit that I was saying was not making sense. Even to the Uber driver, like, I was telling him I'm going to die, and he was trying to figure out why. The Uber driver kept trying to figure out why I kept saying I was going to die. And I couldn't even explain it to him. Like, I literally thought I was laced. Everybody thought I was laced. All the people I spoke to, even the EMTs, thought I was tripping out. They're like, you just on a bad trip. You took a drug. You're on a bad trip. You're gonna come down. And now looking back at it, I probably didn't need to go to the hospital, and I probably was gonna come down. But I did the same thing because I can't imagine being home alone, like completely alone, off this edible, fighting for my fucking life. And God forbid something would have happened to me. I could have had a heart attack. God forbid. Nobody would have been there to help me. But yeah, that was the last time. But it was the last time I took an edible, and ever since then I've literally been paranoid, and I do not want to take edibles ever again. I literally refrain from them because I'm fucking scared that that's gonna happen again. And I didn't like that feeling, not one bit. And like I said, I don't even really smoke like that, so that was all my fault. Moral of the story, stay above the influence. I mean, I did it to myself. I could have said no to drugs, but I wanted to numb myself so bad. I was going through it. Would I do an edible now? No. Would I suggest anybody doing edibles? No. I mean, do it at your own risk, I would say, because I've done them before and I never had a bad reaction. That was just me doing too much at me doing too much at one time, wanting to drink, smoke, do edibles, and I couldn't handle it. Thank you for watching my video. I know this probably wasn't as interesting as a lot of my stories are, but trust me, I got more stories coming with more receipts, more juice. We back on track with it. Follow my Instagram if you don't already, because I'm going out to a party and I plan to take some pictures because I'm finna be looking cute. So if you don't follow me already on Instagram, follow my gram and tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that subscribe button, because we on the road to 50K, and from 50K 60K, and from there it's up and it's stuck.